across the silent bridge. There was a small town nestled between two misty hills, where the river flowed so quietly it almost seemed like it was listening. In that town lived a girl named Clara, who worked in the town's little bookstore. She was quiet, thoughtful, and always had a pen behind her ear, just in case a thought came worth writing down. Every morning, Clara would cross the old stone bridge to open the shop. The bridge, though aged and cracked, stood strong above the calm waters, and she had walked it for years without much thought, until the morning she met Elias. Elias was a painter. He had returned to the town after nearly a decade away, carrying a canvas under one arm and a worn-out suitcase in the other. Clara noticed him on the bridge. He was sketching the water, sitting so still it looked like he was part of the scenery. Their eyes met briefly, and something unfamiliar stirred in Clara's chest. Days passed. Every morning, Clara saw him in the same place, painting the same view. Eventually, curiosity pulled her in. "Why do you paint the same river every day?" she asked one morning. He looked up, surprised. "Because it never looks the same." That was how it began. Small conversations on the bridge turned into coffee at the bookstore. Clara showed him her favorite poetry, and Elias began painting the things she described, sunrises she remembered, or dreams she once had. As the weeks passed, they became inseparable. He painted her once, sitting by the river reading, sunlight on her face. She wrote a poem about him, comparing his presence to quiet waves that seem still until you stand in them. They weren't loud about their feelings, but the town noticed. People whispered about the way he smiled when she entered a room, or how her eyes followed him like they were tracing a story only she could read. But not all stories are easy. Elias had a past he didn't speak much about. He had left the town years ago after a tragedy. His younger brother had drowned in the same river he now painted. Clara, sensing his silence, never pushed. But the silence grew heavy. One evening, the river rose. Heavy rain had flooded the banks. Clara waited at the bookstore, watching the downpour, worried. Elias hadn't come by that day. She finally grabbed her coat and crossed the bridge, but it was slippery, treacherous. Halfway across, she saw him. Standing on the other side, soaked, staring at the water as if lost in it. "Elias," she called. He looked up, startled, as if waking from a memory. "I thought I lost you too," he said quietly. Clara crossed the rest of the bridge and wrapped her arms around him. He was cold, trembling, not from the rain, but from the weight of everything he had held inside. "I'm here," she whispered. "And I'm not going anywhere." That night, in the quiet warmth of the bookstore, he told her everything, about the guilt, the fear, the reason he painted the river over and over, trying to forgive it. She listened, held his hand, and told him something he never expected. Maybe forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. Maybe it's about learning to see beauty again, even in the place that hurt you. From then on, Elias didn't paint the river alone. Clara painted with him. Their love became quiet, strong, like the river. Sometimes still. Sometimes wild. But always flowing forward. Years later, when people crossed the old bridge, they would still see the couple by the bank, painting together, laughing softly. And the river, now carrying their reflections, seemed to finally forgive too. The Melody of You. Chapter 1, A Song in the Silence. Clara Evans had lived in the quiet town of Fairhaven her whole life. It was a place of still lakes, whispering forests, and sunsets that painted the sky in strokes of gold and violet. She was a music teacher at the local school, known for her gentle smile, her soft voice, and the way her fingers danced across piano keys as though whispering secrets to the world. Every evening after class, she would sit at the grand piano in her classroom and play for herself, just herself. No audience. No applause. Only the fading sunlight and the silent ghosts of memory that lingered in each note. She believed her life would stay this way, simple, quiet, and untouched by the chaos of love. That was until he walked in. Chapter 2, The Man at the Window. Elliot Carter was a photographer from the city who had come to Fairhaven for a break from the world. The pace of urban life had worn him and after the loss of his younger brother, he found himself seeking something he couldn't quite name. He rented a small cabin near the woods and wandered the town during the day, taking black and white photos of everyday life. It was on one of these afternoons that he passed by the school and heard music drifting from the open windows. Drawn to the melody like a moth to light, he stopped and listened. And when he saw Clara through the glass, alone, unaware of his gaze, he didn't take a picture. He simply watched. Chapter 3, A Conversation in C Major. Their first real meeting was accidental. Clara was buying coffee at the local cafe when Elliot spilled his on her sleeve. He was embarrassed, apologetic, and charming in a quiet, awkward way that made her laugh. They talked. First about coffee. Then about music. Then about everything else. Elliot asked if she'd ever recorded her music. She shook her head. "It's not for the world," she said. "It's just, for peace." "Maybe peace is what the world needs most," he replied. That night, Clara played the piano again, but this time, her thoughts kept drifting to him. Chapter 4, Autumn Waltz. As weeks passed, Elliot became a part of her world. He would bring her photographs of falling leaves, children laughing, a fox in the woods. In return, she played him music, melodies that spoke of hope, of pain, of dreams left behind. Their connection was quiet, but deep. Like two songs that had always been meant to harmonize. Elliot confessed one night, under the stars, "When I lost my brother, I thought I'd lost all light. But then I heard your music. And something in me woke up again." Clara didn't speak. She just reached for his hand. And in the silence, love bloomed. Chapter 5, The Storm and the Symphony. But love is never without its storms. Elliot received an offer to return to the city, to publish a book of his photography, a dream he'd carried since childhood. "I don't want to leave," he said. "But you must," Clara answered softly. "Your dream matters too." "Do we matter?" he asked. Tears welled in her eyes. "More than anything. But love isn't a cage. It's wings." They kissed that night under the old willow tree by the lake, knowing the morning would take him away. Chapter 6, The Distance Between Notes. Months passed. Letters traveled between Fairhaven and the city, pages filled with longing, poems, and promises. Elliot's book became a success, and Clara's music found new passion as she began composing pieces inspired by their love. But still, they ached for one another. Until one spring morning, Clara returned to her classroom to find a familiar melody being played, her melody, but not by her hands. Elliot was there, sitting at the piano, smiling through tears. "I realized something," he said. "Every photo I took was searching for something beautiful. But nothing is more beautiful than you." Epilogue, A Song Without End. Clara and Elliot married that summer, beneath the willow tree where they had said goodbye. They built a life of music and memory, her playing, him capturing moments in light and shadow. Their home was filled with laughter, with warmth, with the kind of love that doesn't need grand declarations. Just a quiet melody, shared between two hearts. A song without end. Whispers beneath the willow. In a quiet countryside village nestled between rolling hills and fields of golden wheat, there stood a lone willow tree by a serene lake. It was said that lovers who met beneath its branches would find their hearts forever entwined. For many, it was just a tale, until the day Claire met Elias. Claire was a painter from the city, escaping the noise and haste of urban life in search of inspiration. She rented a small cottage not far from the lake and spent her mornings walking by the water, sketching the way the sunlight danced on the ripples and how the willow's branches swayed like they were whispering secrets to the breeze. Elias was a local carpenter with quiet hands and kind eyes. He'd lived in the village his whole life, crafting furniture from the forest's gifts. He first saw Claire beneath the willow, her canvas balanced on her knees, her hair catching the morning light. She looked up as he approached, and in that moment, something unspoken passed between them. "Mind if I sit?" he asked. She smiled. "Only if you promise not to criticize the painting." From then on, their mornings intertwined like the willow's branches. Claire painted. Elias brought her coffee. They talked about dreams and fears, about the stars above and the roots below. He told her stories of the village, she showed him colors he'd never seen in wood. One morning, Claire showed him a new piece, a painting of the willow, with two figures beneath it, one holding a paintbrush, the other carving a piece of wood. "That's us," Elias said softly. She nodded. "It always has been. But time has a way of testing love." Claire received an offer from a prestigious gallery in Paris. A once-in-a-lifetime chance. The kind every artist dreams of. Torn between her rising career and the quiet love she found in the village, she struggled. "I want you to go," Elias said one evening, as they watched the sun dip below the hills. "You deserve this." "And what about us?" she whispered. "I'll wait. As long as it takes." She left with a kiss beneath the willow and tears in her eyes. Months passed. Letters came and went, each one filled with longing, sketches, and the scent of wildflowers pressed between pages. Paris was everything Claire dreamed of, grand, inspiring, alive. Yet every gallery, every crowded room, reminded her of a quiet lake, a willow tree, and a man with hands that shaped love into wood. A year later, Claire returned. She had changed, her name now whispered in art circles, but her heart hadn't. She went straight to the willow. And there he was. Elias, older by a year, but still with those kind eyes, standing beneath the branches, holding something. It was a wooden box. Carved carefully, lovingly. Inside it, dozens of her letters, pressed flowers, and a ring shaped like a tiny willow branch. "I told you I'd wait," he said, his voice trembling. "I never stopped loving you," she replied, tears slipping down her cheeks. They embraced under the willow, where the wind seemed to sing just for them. From that day on, Claire stayed. She painted, he carved, and together they created beauty from love, her colors and his wood, their lives entwined like the branches above them. And the willow stood tall, whispering their story to all who believed in love.